Are you ready?
But when you see those few YouTubers in TikTok and they're Googling like how to do stuff, that's what's really on. So in this video, we'll just be talking about some things that I feel like need to be debunked. A lot of times on social media, especially in this influencer era, it's becoming very, very popular for people to over-romanticize things to the point where, for one, once you get what they have, you realize,
it's really not that pretty. It's really not that bright.
and for two, it can be very discouraging if you don't have, or if your life or your journey doesn't look the way that somebody on social media does. So just here to debunk some of the things, the myths, the lies that you've probably heard regarding tech. I really feel like there were so many things I could have added to this video, but I narrowed it down to 5, and I'm not even going to say these were like my top 5 or nothing. These would just have to be the 5 that I felt like were cohesive. That being said, if you do want a part 2, please be sure to let me know in the comments below. Before we get into this video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe if you want more tech content. And yeah, y'all know I can get chatty, so I'm not gonna get too much into the intro. Let's just get into the video. So the unromanticized truth about working in tech. Point number 5. You don't have to know it all. You don't. Breaking into tech can be super intimidating, especially if you're not a coder, especially if you don't know the techie talk, if you don't know what this is and that is and whatever. It can be very intimidating just hearing people even talk about certain things, and you're just like, ugh. I have a computer science degree, as well as I have participated in a boot camp. So I went the boot camp route and I went the degree route. I've done both. And when I tell y'all, there are still coding languages, there are still tools, there are still terminologies that I still did not learn until I got on the job. So I won't lie and say that I didn't have a fundamental knowledge of what I was getting myself into when I got my job. However, I didn't know everything, and there's still a lot that I don't know that I'm learning continuously. So I never want you to look at me like I just know it all, I understand everything, it just clicks for me. No, I told y'all on episode 1, like, if some of my classmates were to run across this channel, they probably would be questioning what I am doing, because it used to take me forever to complete my assignments, because it would take me forever to catch on to things. Like, I used to feel so slow. Like, students will be knocking out their assignments and I'm still trying to figure out how you make it work again. And I still have a lot of those moments. I've had a lot of sleepless nights, binge watching tutorials, Stack Overflow on 20 tabs. I've been through it, y'all. I know that all tech careers aren't coding, but just speaking as someone who is a coder, even to the people who aren't coders, when it comes to the terminology, the languages, a lot of the stuff you're going to learn once you start your professional journey. Just show passion and enthusiasm, and your team will know that you are trying to get it. Realistically speaking, I didn't even want to code. Like, that's how insecure I was about my coding abilities. When I got into my current job, it wasn't my intention to be a coder at all. It was to my surprise when they were like,
Okay, yeah, we need you to develop this website.
I was very insecure about my coding abilities. Maybe it's because I'm a Virgo, but y'all, I overthink everything. And coding is one of those things. Tech really is one of those things where you can't overthink it. Sometimes the solutions are literally the simplest thing. I would be trying to type out everything because I wanted to remember how to do it. I was trying to memorize the language and the methods and all that. Y'all, it's not that deep. If you don't go copy and paste it from a previous project or from Google, a lot of people on YouTube, especially like coding teachers, they teach in such a way you can tell that they're a professional and they've been doing this for years. But when you see those few YouTubers in TikTok who basically show how they're Googling, they're software developers and they're Googling like how to do stuff and they're on faculty. That's realistic. That's what's really on. And I'm not saying that you can't be a professional coder, you can't memorize things, you can't know, to the fullest extent what you're doing. That's not what I'm saying at all. But my thing is, you don't have to know it all. Like, that's the beauty of tech, is that the simple route is the best route. Don't overthink it. Don't think that you have to know a coding language from A to Z in order to get a job. And don't think that you have to know a coding language from A to Z to be a successful coder, because that's not the case at all. So number 5, you don't have to know it all. Which brings me to point number 4. You don't need a degree. Being mine, I have a degree and I went the bootcamp route. And if you're interested in knowing my comparisons between the bootcamp route and the degree route, let me know in the comments below and I will be sure to make a video explaining my experience and the pros and cons of both and how they compare. But bottom line, you don't need a degree because bootcamps are a thing. Udemy is a thing. YouTube University is definitely a thing. LinkedIn Learning is a thing. There are so many resources out there that teach people good quality lessons, and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars going to a university. However, if you are in the process of acquiring a degree and you want to be in tech, I do highly encourage it because there are many resources that can be given to you if you are studying computer science at an accredited university. But I do work with a lot of people who did not start off in tech. They have degrees in everything from broadcast to journalism to communications, but somewhere along the line they realized that they were into tech and they made that transition, and now they're teaching me the degree one. So I will definitely say that number 4 is definitely nice to have a degree, highly encouraged, but you don't necessarily need it to be successful in this field. Number 3 is you have to work for Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, or IBM, or all of these tech companies, which are great. A majority of the tech influencer content that I do see specifically coming from young people are from companies like that, and those are great companies, hands down. However, tech companies aren't the only route into tech. I'm in media. To be completely honest with you, I began to hate going to career fairs. People outside of computer science and engineering felt like career fairs were just for us because there were so many opportunities for tech and engineers. But let me tell y'all, I hated it. There were so many opportunities for computer science and engineering majors, but they were all like boring. So boring. And I'm not saying like the heavy names that I just named are any of those companies. I'm not saying the heavy names that I just named are boring companies by far, because some of my favorite content to look at is the people who work at Google, because apparently they're living it up. So I'm not saying that these are not good companies at all, and if those are the type of companies that you're headed for, that's great. However, personally, I had a passion, I had a love for media. I heavily considered majoring in something that would put me more in the media realm, like a journalism or communication. So just to show you how much passion I had for learning and being in the media industry. So being that tech is in everything, especially today, tech is everywhere. Think about what your passion is and align it. For me, I wanted to do media. Media tech is a real thing. Like, tech is very heavy in the media industry. Any media company you can think of, there's tech. Everyone needs tech. Streaming services are on the rise. People have websites, apps, technology, and systems that are being used to edit, to store feed, and to push it out to consumers. How do you think this is happening? We need technology in media. So this is kind of like my plug of, encouraging a couple people to actually explore what tech and media looks like, because you might really actually like it. I love it. But even if media is not your field, what do you like? There's tech in finance. There's tech in business. There's tech everywhere. So number 3 is you do not have to be working for a tech company. I work for a media company. Explore as you will. Truth number 2 is you just might be the minority. I don't know who you are. I don't know your ethnicity. I don't know what gender you identify as. But I do know, as for me, in college, there weren't a lot of females in the department. And even with internships and with job opportunities, I am always a minority on whatever team I'm on. And that's just the hard truth. Every team I've been on, I've either been like the only woman or one of the only women and one of the only black people. As well as on a lot of teams, I'm often the youngest. Most people have like families. There are other gaps other than just women and black people. For example, Hispanics are also a minority in tech as well. A lot of the teams I've been on have been pretty black and white. Not a lot of black, a whole lot of white. But I will say I have worked on teams that have been pretty diverse when it comes to people of color. So although I might be like the only black person or the only black American, it does make me feel good when I'm on teams with different ethnicities. But I'm gonna be real. Another unromantic truth for me personally personally is I do kind of find it hard to be myself on some of these teams, because a lot of times the insiders, the jokes, the culture of the majority, a lot of it I don't understand, and I'm very much who I am, and I can't, fake like I do get it if I don't. And even when it comes to the things that I wear, the things that I say, I'm always trying to be very cognizant of those things, just because lines can be easily blurred when you're the minority. So all that being said, one thing I am working on is being unapologetically me and owning it in the most professional way, but I have to be real about it. And I don't know who you are, I don't know what you are, but you might be the minority. And that brings me to our final unromanticized truth, which is, in the words of Jay-Z,
"Hey for everybody."
As much as I want to encourage women and people of color and honestly anybody to get into tech and into STEM period, it's honestly just not for everybody. And on TikTok and on Instagram with the reels and the shorts, people have a way of trying to push you into tech by saying,
oh, you don't need a degree, you'll be making 6 figures by next year, and da-da-da-da.
Which low-key is a myth within itself, but we'll let that one slide. But people do try to persuade people into tech, and a lot of times it reels down to money. But money cannot buy happiness. Trust me, I know. And if you are doing it for that reason alone, and you're miserable and you hate it, and you don't like coding, and you don't like this or that, because once again, coding is not the only route of tech, but if you just seriously have no interest for tech at all, even if it is aligned with your passion, don't do it. Like, the beautiful thing about life is that everyone has their own designated path or journey that leads to whatever you want, whatever you desire, whether that's money, happiness, passion, skill, whatever you are supposed to acquire on this journey called life, it's for your path and your path alone. If this does not bring you happiness and you're miserable, I'm here to tell you this just isn't your path. But if you do have an interest in it, you want to learn more, it aligns with your passion, and all of that good stuff, absolutely go for it. Money just does not buy happiness, and if you're miserable, it's not worth it, boo. Let it go. So those were my 5 unromanticized truths about working in tech. These are my opinions and my opinions alone. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone can romanticize what they want to romanticize. I'm not here to stop nobody's shine. However, I do know that watching the highlights of other people's lives and assuming that they know it all, they got it all, it can be very discouraging. So this is just for you to find a little encouragement. So if you agree with what I said, or maybe you disagree with what I said, or maybe you have found truths of your own, or maybe you want me to do a part 2, whatever it is, whatever you feel like talking about, discussing, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Be sure to also give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and share it with a friend if you care. If you made it to the end of this video, I just want to thank you for watching, and I will see you next time on Code and Pink. Bye.